Hey, welcome back to A Tale of Three Cabins. I'm going to do my best foreign film dubbed in English here because I had some audio issues throughout the making of this video and they bugged the heck out of me, so I'm just going to overdub a lot of this volume. Basically, my UTV is done. I did all the modifications on it that I want to do. So in not too much detail, I'm going to show you what I did. So let's just start from top to bottom. The last thing that came in, but the first thing I wanted to mount was the roof. So I purchased the roof from Extreme Metal Products. It took about 6-7 weeks before I could get it. But I didn't want to mount the LED lights until I knew how everything was going to fit, especially in the back. It uses the holes already drilled in the roll cage. 4 bolts, it went on pretty easy, pretty good fit, and I like it for that little indentation where I mounted the light bar. It's 20 inches and a 20-inch light bar fits there perfect. I didn't want to go crazy. I didn't want to get a 50-inch light bar that stretches all the way across the whole UTV. I drilled 2 holes, put a small little metal backing behind it for reinforcement on the bolts, and I channeled the wire down the A-post on the front there on the driver's side. So that went pretty easy. It sticks up a little bit, but not as much as if you were to put a light bar with a bracket on there. So I'm hoping it's going to be protected from those low-hanging branches. Along with the 20-inch light bar came these 2 cube lights, and I'm mounting these to the rear. I have one mounted slightly lower than the other one. It kind of focuses down on the bed area. And then I have one that shoots a little bit straighter back for backing up and seeing what's behind me. I have a separate switch for these, so I could either do the front light bar or these rear lights. I ran the wiring along the top rail there, and I just meet up along the A-post with the other light bar and go right down under the hood. I also mounted the little case here that you can hold 2 guns if you want, some tools, various other items that you want to put in there, and the lights are mounted in a way that it's not going to interfere with that. I'm only going to strap this on. It goes on with 4 buckles, and it goes right around the roll bar again. I'm just going to put it on here when I need it. I'm not going to keep it on here all the time because I'll probably get some mice in there. I purchased some of these tie-down eye hooks. They're really simple to use. They fit inside the holes. You can put them in different configurations. They also make them with different tops on them, so if you want something that's going to hold a gun or a bow. So there's a variety of them. I just wanted them right now for my straps. Basically, you put them in the hole and you turn on the eyelet. It kind of compresses the rubber inside, and it creates such a friction that it's not going to pull out. I'm going to try to put links on everything that I'm showing here. My toggle switches. This of course comes with the ATV. There were 2 blanks in here. This one is for the light bar up front, and this is for the 2 lights in the back. Now I don't want to get too detailed how this is done, but basically I carved out the blanks. I used a razor knife, and I went slowly. I didn't use any measurement or anything. Basically I started out with a hole a little bit smaller than the switch, and then just started chipping away and just put it in there for size to see if it was going to fit or not. Now I did break one of these switches because I stuck it in there and I could not get it out, and when I pulled it out it broke into I did order the exact same one and replaced it. They all come with a little wiring diagram, if you see it in a little paper in the background there, and they do come with some jumpers if you need to go to several terminals, like 2 positives there and 2 negatives there. Now the wiring kit that came with the LED light bar and those 2 cube lights gave me enough wire to do all the wiring for this. But those light switches that I put in have little backlights on them, and I wanted them to only power on with the battery. And that bus bar right there is a terminal that only comes on with the ignition. So I'm running 1 positive wire to the light switch to only turn on when the key is turned on. But you can turn the light on without the key turned on. It's just the backlight of the light that doesn't come on. I'm not going to give a lesson, but I used mostly crimp connectors and then some shrink wrap electrical tubing to seal everything up and hopefully keep it watertight. So instead of using the relay that came with the light, and it also had an inline fuse, I decided to put this marine block on, and it's basically has its own fuses. I ran a heavy duty gauge wire directly back to the battery, and I had this wire left over from an old Wench that I had. So I didn't really need the relay. It's going to have the fuse in here. The heavy duty wire comes right to this box, and then I'm going right to my LED lights. If you notice, there were some red LEDs on this fuse panel, and it will show you if one of these fuse blows which one it was by lighting up the LED light. I thought this was a simpler way than using the relay and the inline fuse, and I could also divide the rear lights and the front lights onto separate switches. Now I installed a new winch, and those wires go directly back to the battery, and then the solenoid is mounted under the hood here. And I needed one red wire which goes to this positive that is only when the ignition is on, so I can't accidentally turn my winch on unless the ignition's on. So I bought a separate rocker switch to replace the one that came with the winch. I took this one apart, I took the wires off of it, and installed a new rocker switch that would have a much nicer fit in the dashboard. They have a similar style to my light switches and have a similar backlight on them. These switches come in all kinds of styles and configurations. I got a Sasquatch light for Southern Ohio because we have the grass man down there, but you could have got zombie lights for maybe if you're in West Virginia or a multitude of applications. This is underneath the seat of the 570 midsize, and I just want to show you how I mounted these wires and where they're directed. Up on top of the screen there is the drive shaft, so you do want to be careful not to get any wires close to that. I basically channeled them with a bunch of other wires that were going up to underneath the hood. This is in front of the seat. There's a panel you remove with 7 screws, and you can continue to channel that wire. And this is looking at the floorboards from the passenger side of the seat. Once through there, I basically just followed the main wire harness underneath the hood and up into the frame area where I mounted my solenoid for the winch and then the fuse panel for my lights. Next, we'll wait for it to get dark and I'll give you a brief test on how these lights perform at night. That's just a 20-inch light bar without the headlights and with the headlights. Here's just the headlights and the light bar. I think that would be plenty of light for me for what I'm going to need. That seems to give me sufficient enough light area for the bed and also if I'm going to be backing up, so I'm pretty happy with those. And I got a 3,500 pound wench. It's made by Tusk. The installation was pretty simple. Comes with a nylon core. These are, to me, a lot nicer than the metal ones. You don't need to have gloves when you're handling them. It just it doesn't look like it should be doing what it's doing. Looks like it's got a break when you're pulling something heavy, but they work really good. Now the kit did come with the mounting plate, and I just had to modify the front grille a little bit. I just had to pull that off and trim a little bit to get to where the cable comes through, but it looks like it's almost a custom fit, and I'm really happy the way that turned out. I try to get a little stopper for this. That's one thing I forgot to order, just so I don't accidentally pull this in too far. Well, I apologize for the audio issues. I tried using my little Bluetooth microphone and it didn't seem like it was working, so it was just picking up noise off of the phone, which was pretty far away most of the times. That's going to do it for today. I appreciate everybody watching, and I hope you enjoy these videos and subscribe. Next time you see this UTV, I'm going to have it down in southern Ohio. I'm going to give the Widowmaker a test to see if we can make it up the hill. So come check that out. It should be showing up in a video feed pretty soon, the next couple weeks. So keep an eye on us and take care.